Hey everybody, this is Eric Erdman, and you're listening to Dealing the Mobile Sound. We are here at Callaghan's in the green room. When Lynn Oldshoe approached me to host this podcast, we were thinking where we should do it, and we decided to do it from the green room here because it has probably seen as much of the mobile music scene as any other place. So here we are, and today our guests are two of my best friends that I love dearly. They're also icons in the mobile music scene. They've definitely played more gigs at Callaghan's than anybody, so they're very familiar with this green room. None other than the duo, Phil and Foster. How are y'all doing, guys?
Excellent.
Thanks.
Eric, thank you.
I just love y'all so much as people, but it's also just as a person that loves the mobile music scene. You know, I'm fans of both of you, and
Well, we're honored.
yeah, I know that you both have played in many other acts before you were the duo that we know now. So, maybe let's start with the fact that we are around this poker table here in the green room, and we thought it would be fun to, since we're around the poker table, play a little game of poker. So we're going to start out with, as you would, the ante up. So in the ante up, we're asking you to maybe describe or tell us about the time where you first played a gig in the Mobile area and, bet on yourself.
Go, Phil. Go, Phil.
Okay, I'll tell you what, the first gig I ever played here was kind of a one-off thing. I was playing in a band, this was back in the 80s. And we just came down here and played some kind of frat party or something, so that probably doesn't count. So really, I'll tell you what, let me tell you this one.
Okay.
It was around 2005, and I had been playing here some with a band called the Dog River Boys, a bluegrass band. That's right. And my friend Waylon Smith. We were doing a duo, and we'd been playing here for about a year maybe, and Waylon and I were booked here, and a hurricane was coming. I think it was Hurricane Danny in the summer of 2005, I think. And Waylon lives up around Clanton. He said, hey, I'm not coming down there. I don't want to get stuck, in Mobile in this hurricane. And so I went to JT, the owner of Callaghan's, and said, hey, do you mind if I play this as a solo? Well, I had never played solo before.
Wow.
And he said, sure, go ahead. Yeah, I didn't want to lose a gig,
Understood.
And so I came and played it as a solo, and then started playing here as a solo, and with Waylon, and with the Dog River Boys, and then Deluxe Trio, and Stan as Phil and Foster. And so that was really when I started to gig a lot in Mobile. I'd been down here about 10 years, but I hadn't gigged much.
That's one of the things we haven't mentioned yet, but JT, the owner of Callaghan's, he's such a big part of the music scene and such a big supporter. But one of the things I think is great is that you're like, this is a duo gig, but they can't be here. I've never played solo before. And he's like, sure, let's go for it.
Let's go.
Right.
And he's just that kind of guy, too. Boy, he has been a game changer for us. For me, I was in a band starting in the early 90s, around 94. I met this guy, Rick Carter, who was in a band called Telluride. And he had this idea to put together what he called a rocked-up bluegrass band. And, of course, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou hadn't come out yet, so bluegrass, I was like, wow, what are they trying to do? I want to do these bluegrass songs like the Allman Brothers or something with that kind of vibe, aggressive, thing. And I said, okay, who's the drummer? He goes, we're not going to have a drummer. I was like, so I just didn't really understand what they were trying to do. And we were playing in Birmingham a good bit, but around 96 or 97, because Telluride had been so big in Mobile, the Mobile area, as a southern rock band, he wanted to get Rolling Hay playing down here. So the old Soul Kitchen was, on the other end of Dauphin Street, not where it is now. And we started playing there. So that was my first experience, was coming down here to play with Rolling Hay. When my wife is from here, and when she found out her dad was dying, we lived in Birmingham, we decided we'd move to Mobile. This is 2005, and she's had a pretty good career down here, so people kind of knew. She knew some people, and I thought it would help me to kind of get in the scene. I met this guy named Ben Jernigan, and he goes, I got the guy you need to play with. His name is Phil Proctor, and he's the guy. So Donna and I looked up where Phil was playing one night, and he's playing at this seafood place on the Causeway. And we go over there, and there's this guy, and he's playing standards. He's playing all these jazz songs, and and we're like, that's not the guy. We're looking for the bluegrass guy. So Ben goes, oh, he just trying to make a living, man. I tell you where we're going to go. What you got Wednesday? I said, don't have anything Wednesday. I usually leave Mobile on Thursday and play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday up in the Birmingham area where we were traveling to with Rolling the Hay. Ben said, we're going to Jack's by the Tracks to see this guy, Phil Proctor. We go in there, and Phil's up there wearing out some bluegrass.
Hey, wait, where is that?
Pascagoula.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pascagoula. That's a Pascagoula place. So that was the first time I saw Phil, and he said, hey, you the bass player for Rolling the Hay? I said, yeah. He goes, are you here to eat? Nope. You here to play? I said, yeah. He said, you better have a bass out in the car, which I did. And that lit us up. And that's how we kind of got together. So I would say 2006 we started playing together, somewhere in there, maybe 2008. No, was it later
probably,
than that?
Yeah, it was probably. If I was at Jack's, I think they opened in late 2010 or 2011.
Oh well, I missed several years in there.
Well, it's a blur.
Well, after that, you have been playing, like I said, become a staple of the music community here as this duo. I know you've all done plenty of work before that. You've been playing every Wednesday night here at Callaghan's for
11 plus years.
11 years.
Yeah.
Hey, last year on that 10th anniversary, we were so honored. The JT, talking about what a cool guy is, he got the mayor to come down and he proclaimed.
Come on.
He sure did. He proclaimed it was Phil and Foster Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
He did.
Phil and Foster with Jose Santiago Day.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Let's
correct.
not forget.
Our friend Jose Santiago is a conga player and a sweetheart, and we use him a lot for our gigs as well.
Yeah, especially here. He's here most of the time.
Well, okay. Well, you just mentioned something I want to hit on. You both, you were saying you went and watched Phil, and it was he was playing standards. The next time you go, he's doing bluegrass. One of the things I've always valued about this scene is it has a variety of styles. Most of it, at least, is steeped a little bit in blues and jazz, but it's not exclusively that, and it's all over the map.
And then our music is a combination of a whole bunch of that stuff.
Exactly.
It's kind of bluegrass, but not traditional in any sense of the word, really, though we can do that.
Right.
And then we do the jazz, the jam thing, the improv thing a lot.
If it were traditional bluegrass, you wouldn't have Jose Santiago playing
True.
percussion. No. And that's, to me, that's just a beautiful blend that you have. And you also, just your songwriting, there's Anne Michelle, Halfway Home, songs like that are more like, they're a blend of many things, but more kind of Beatles-esque rock, kind of
that's
thing.
rock.
Exactly.
But then you have funky things like Do Me Wrong, Used to Do Me Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, I love that. That, to me, that is the sound of Mobile. Like you represent the,
Cross section.
cross section. Thank you.
Multi-genre.
Teacher.
Yes.
Teacher.
Okay. I need to be taught. Trust me.
Oh,
Stop.
All right. Well, now to the next part of the poker hand.
okay. We anteed up, right?
You anteed up.
So.
Now we're at the flop.
Oh, okay.
So the flop, for our purposes, is, can you remember a song or songs that you worked them out at the house and they just hit you and you are so excited and proud and ready to go lay it on the audience, and it just something got lost in translation and didn't hit them the way it hits you? Doesn't mean the song's bad. Some of my favorite songs have that experience. So just the one you thought would have one response.
You got one?
Did.
One hit me.
Not. No, for me, trying to write my own stuff and quit playing so many covers. I was playing a lot of solo gigs after that one that I did here. And so I started picking up all these solo gigs, but they were mostly at restaurants. And Callaghan's is not a restaurant type gig. It's a restaurant, but it's not a restaurant gig where you're standing in the corner getting ignored for 3 hours.
Right.
So I was playing my stuff along with a bunch of covers, getting pretty much no response, and in my head, these are not bad songs, but every now and then somebody come up, hey, that was good. Do you know? It's like, mother. So it was really not until Stan and I were playing here together with Steve Varnes that I started playing a couple of my originals, and they seemed to go over. And then after Steve left and it was just Stan and Jose and myself, I wanted to just push a whole lot more of the original stuff. And we developed a regular crowd, or maybe a regular expectation that we were going to play our own stuff. But until then, except for one bluegrass song I wrote, everything else just kind of, was a mediocre response at best. Very mid.
Well, I'm thinking, for me, I was thinking more of like situational, like we may play a song here on one Wednesday night and play a traditional bluegrass thing, Mountain Dew, say, and it go over like a,
I know what you want to say.
Something bad, a Baby Ruth in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So, but then if you play that same song the next Wednesday when a bunch more of the hippie kids are there, or with people that do love bluegrass, they jump around and go crazy. They're all doing the Soggy Bottom Boys dance and having fun, So sometimes I'm always surprised, like we'll call something, and I'm thinking you were just, throwing something at the wall to see what's going to work tonight. I
love it. The situation.
Yeah, the situation, and it's so weird that sometimes, we'll play our original and they just love it, and sometimes we play one and they, yeah, okay, fine, and then they'll go, do you know how to play?
Yeah, some cover that's been beat up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it kind of varies. I can't really think of anything that we've written lately, though, that we've really tanked on.
No, they're all pretty much hits. I'd say they're all great. I mean,
I agree with you.
Thanks.
But you did bring me to this point. One really important thing, and that I have found that's special here, in addition to just the music, is like it has to have a place to be performed and people to support it. So the venue owners, like JT, allow you the space to do it. But it's also a community of people that will come listen to it.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have built as much of a sonic thing that we all like. You've also built a following and community here that I know when you come in, there'll be new faces. I don't mean it's always the same people, but it's a community of folks that love everything you do, and which is, it feels like a connected thing. The wall between stage and audience is gone, and I love that.
And even in this town, you can go across the street or you can go across the bay, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
This thing has some sort of magic to it. Like, I know they've accepted us, and we've kind of become the OGs, but. It has a vibe and it has a thing, and even when the young people, like Phil's a school teacher, so a lot of people come in. The students will come in when they're back in town or whatever, and they'll go, Mr. Proctor, he's my favorite teacher. They're here to see Mr. Proctor rock out. There may be those folks, but then we have the people that are 08ers that live here, and the older crowd, and they come every Wednesday. Those people have been exceedingly supportive. I mean, since the Deluxe Trio days all the way up to now, they have shown us, like you said, given us the freedom to just try anything. Like some of this improv stuff, I never was brave enough to try that, ever.
Yeah.
And Phil just sort of pushed it. I played one bass solo in Rollin' the Hay for, 20 years.
Wow.
8-bar solo.
I didn't know that.
So I never had solos. So when Phil said, you're going to start taking solos, it was terrifying. So this place and Phil pushed me to get,
held his hand.
Pushed me to get better.
Well, I think that's cool too, because that's a big thing of the sound of Mobile that we're trying to vaguely explain to people that might not understand it, and the difference between structured forms and things and jamming, improvising is that's two different skills. Sure. You could be great at one or the other, or you can be great at both, but they aren't the same exact thing. And it's cool to see be able to stretch out like that. And I didn't realize this was really the first group where you had that freedom to do that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was always just boot up, 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 boot up.
Well, some of it I think was, to me, it was kind of a necessity. There's only two of us. I mean, we play a lot without Jose, just as a two-piece. And so there's only the two of us, and when we're not singing, it's kind of like somebody needs to be playing something interesting, and I didn't want it to be a guitar solo only every song.
Single time.
So, you know, it was like, well, here's some variety. This is a different color. And I think most people don't expect it. You know, how often do you go see a band and the bass player takes a ride every 2 or 3 songs? Or I don't know. I don't know how often you do, but it's pretty often.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing. It's something different.
As a fan, I love it.
Well, thank you.
Excelente.
Yep.
Also, I guess this would be a good time to mention that not only are these my friends, and I am claiming that they are phenomenal. They collectively have won Best Area Guitar Player and Best Area Bass Player for umpteen dozen, you know. Yes.
2 or 3.
Anyway.
He can tell you exactly how many.
I don't know.
I'm embarrassed.
I don't
always
know how
feel-
many you've won, Stan, but I don't know. Several.
Thank you,
I'm just
Eric.
saying.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
You don't have to take my word for it. All the people out there that may not be familiar with Phil and Foster till now, but trust me.
One more thing I was thinking about too was when the pandemic hit. You know, we were all terrified. You know, well, how are we going to pay our bills? I mean, you know, especially I'm not a school teacher. You know, so I don't have a day job. So if I'm not playing, we don't eat. You know, that kind of thing. And JT helped us through that too. But this is something that we learned. We figured out how to go live.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it came to us like, wait a minute, all the people that love the sound of Mobile and what we do here, some of those people have moved away and gotten jobs in Atlanta or Auburn or Tuscaloosa or wherever in the world. But they would support us too online, you know, and they would watch us live. So we started broadcasting all those things too. And that is a huge, I was like, all of a sudden, like you got 100 people watching, or, you know, if it's 10 people watching, one guy's in Butte, Montana, and the other guy's in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's amazing to me, you know.
Though that's interesting too, because the point to me as just a fan of the music here, it is recognizable somehow, no matter what style it is. If it weren't, then those people that moved away, like you just said, there might be some other state, but they wanted to tune in to hear you because they love your music specifically, but as something that they could recognize as this Gulf Coast music.
A connection to home, maybe.
Connection to home.
That was home, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we talked about your first gigs in the Mobile area. Now it's time for the turn, where we're going to talk to you about at what point did music turn from just being maybe a hobby or something you could make a couple bucks here and there to something that you could be a professional at.
Well, here you go. So I've been playing in bands since I was a teenager. That was probably back in the mid-'90s. And
When you were a teenager?
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I was, it was always a side thing. Even in college, it was a side thing. It was not, I didn't want to do that for a living just because I thought it's unstable, it's unpredictable. I want to have a
all the reasons I did want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I wanted to have a somewhat the possibility of having a stable home life, the family, and a paycheck that came in every couple of weeks, regardless of whether I was really motivated or not. And so that's the way I was doing it. When I moved down here in '93, I think the next couple of years, I gigged about, believe it or not, 12 times a year.
Wow.
Once a month with my friend Waylon.
Wow.
Most of that was out of town. And then when we had kids, especially after the third one, it became much more evident that I needed to ratchet up my
Supplement your
gigging.
income.
Yes, and so I really started to play, and after that initial solo gig here, I started to book as many solo gigs as I could. And it started to become a bigger chunk of our annual income. And you couple that with playing your own music, and it's very seductive. And so, don't tell anybody, but I think a lot about retiring from teaching while I can still get up and move and go out and play.
We were on the road. I'm taking him on the road.
You heard it here
maybe
first.
it will turn into my only profession, in a few years. If I'm still around.
Next year.
Maybe.
Phil and Foster, you're 13. That's it. That's
Yep. I moved to Birmingham chasing a girl.
Yeah.
It was in the 80s. and she liked music, and Birmingham was happening. And this is way back before there was the internet or any of that stuff. So if you wanted to hear music, pretty much you had to buy an album or CD or go to a club, and there was no streaming and all that stuff. So she turned me on to all these cool places, and I saw a trio, Pete and I, who played a lot with and still does play with Anthony Crawford a good bit, another person from this area that's done a bunch of stuff, and a lady named Beverly Owen, and they had an auxiliary guy. He could play acoustic guitar, he could play bass, and he could play harmonica, and he sang all the harmonies. Well, I went one night, he wasn't there. I said, what happened to that guy? She said, we got to get us an auxiliary guy. I mean, the guy that was auxiliary guy worked at a cabinet shop, and he cut off some fingers.
Oh, no.
And I said, I'm your man. And they said, so you play bass? I'd never even held a bass. I was like, yeah. I was working at a music store, a big music store, Nuncie's downtown. And there was a guy on the loading dock that played bass. And his name was Pete. And Pete said, get the gig, and I'll just teach you what to do. Because I could play the chords. I could play rhythm guitar, I could strum chords. And I could play enough harmonica to do it. And I knew I could sing enough harmonies, And I knew kind of their set, and it was all this acoustic stuff, just like that's very popular now. Joni Mitchell, Joan Armatrading, and she did all that stuff, and the guy did finger picking stuff, Crosby, Stills and Nash. And
man, that sounds really cool as your first bass gig.
Yeah, and so I didn't even own a bass. My sister gave me her clarinet, and I traded it in for a Fender bass and a beat up Fender Bassman that didn't really work well, so Pete rigged it up where it would work. And I went to the audition, had to audition for the gig, and I went to the audition. They said, rhythm playing's just fine, your harmonica's just good enough to get by, harmonies are killer, you got to work on your bass playing. And I said, I promise I'll work on my bass playing. So every day at lunch I'd go in and say, I've got to learn this, and you'd go, well, figure out what the chords are. You'd teach me, So it was, my whole thing was earn while you learn kind of deal.
Yeah, but in there somewhere,
yeah, it stuck.
Well, apparently you got the.
And I started, just playing as much as I could. I guess that would have been full time. Started full-time playing in '88 with a guy named Mark Custer, who was a really big deal at the time in Birmingham. And we did, Doobie Brothers and Eagles and Beatles and every cover thing. We didn't no originals at all. It was
yeah, but that's good for your chops and
God, I learned so much,
All right, well, let's play a track by you guys that you mentioned. Maybe play Blue Ribbon.
Blue Ribbon Love. Yeah, that's one we wrote together.
Yeah, tell me about that one.
I had she's got a blue ribbon love. That's all I'm thinking of, Yeah. My baby's got a blue ribbon love. And I just had that. And really that was all. And I kept telling Phil, you're going to have to help me because I've got this cool hook idea for a melody. And so we talked about it being guy going to a county fair. Phil pretty much wrote the verses.
Yeah, maybe so. Guy goes to a fair, falls in love, and, his life becomes a tilt-a-whirl.
Hey.
That's it.
All right, here you go. Yeah. Blue Ribbon Love, Phil and Foster.
She's got a blue ribbon love, that's all I'm thinking of. My baby's got a blue ribbon love. Looking back, I should have known right from the start. She was looking for a boy to win his heart. I met her there at the Choctaw County Fair, and that's just where she tore my world apart. She's got a blue ribbon love, that's all I'm thinking of. My baby's got a blue ribbon love. Stars. Me and that girl riding on the tilted world. She was spinning a web of love around my heart. She's got a blue still on life's roller coaster ride. She's still my blue ribbon love, that's all I'm thinking of. My baby's got a blue ribbon love. She's still my blue ribbon love, that's all I'm thinking of. My baby's got a blue ribbon love.
There you go. That's Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool.
And
Thanks for playing that.
yeah, and so now let's move on to the next phase of the game.
Is it the river?
The river. You hit it on the head. So in the river, we're going to ask you to take anyone you want to your honey hole to go fishing. You know, it could be it could be just your granddad or whoever, or it could be some musician that you'd like to hear what they might create, having experienced.
You go first. I haven't processed this really.
Okay.
Well, my wife is a killer fisherman.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I would be scared to go fishing with her because she wouldn't be very patient. I'd want to talk and ask questions, and she just wants to fish. So I'd have to probably say I wouldn't go fishing with Donna. But I would love to hang out with someone that I really admire their writing, like Gove Scrivener. I don't know. You remember this guy named Gove?
Of course
Scrivener?
I know Gove.
And he did Austin City Limits by himself, solo one time. I mean, all his history. I wound up playing with him at the Frog Pond, which is another kind of unique to this area venue, an outdoor venue that focuses mainly on songwriting. And I got to play bass for him on some of his stuff. And I would love to hang out with, maybe Hirsch or Gove Scrivener or someone that writes a lot. I don't know, Eric Erdman or Christy Lee. I could maybe get Christy. Christy Lee likes to fish.
Christy Lee knows how to fish.
Do it. And
you might not catch any if you go with her because she'll get them all.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Her writing, she doesn't feel bound by any. Like, I think I know just enough harmony and theory and all that stuff to. She doesn't let those boundaries box her into anything.
Absolutely not.
And so it would be good for me to hang out with Christy Lee on something like that. What do you think?
Phil, have you thought of someone you want to take fishing?
I don't know. Maybe I could just catch a ride with them and kind of hang out.
Fair.
And
You're a duo. You're going to be together anyway, right?
Yeah, but there's another duo I'm part of. And there's a person I would like to take fishing in a I don't know, about a more metaphorical way, maybe.
Well, I'm gonna use on that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's going to sound sappy, but it's my wife, Shelley, because most of the time we spend together, it's about bills and our adult children and their lives.
Adulting.
And it's not. Yeah, it's no fun. It's terrible. We go out to eat or we go somewhere and the conversation always goes back to that. So if we could just go fishing and not even worry about...
That's not sappy. That's sweet. That's
great. It would be nice to spend that kind of time.
You need to go glamping is what you need to do.
You remember when I said there are no wrong answers to these questions, but there is a right one, and that was it.
Oh, gosh, thank you very much.
All right, so how do you feel about playing us something live here around the poker table?
We could do that.
Heck yeah.
All right, so while they get geared up, we'll just say again thank you for listening in to what song are you going to play for us?
You want to play the new instrumental?
Again, there's
Let's
no
play the new
right or
instrumental.
Okay.
We just wrote it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Didn't know we were getting an exclusive.
Yeah, it is. It'll be the first time we've ever played it live.
Oh, I'm loving this more by the second. So here you go. You are listening to Phil and Foster live on Dealing the Mobile Sound. Oh, so good, y'all. So what do you?
I almost got it.
What would you? What's the title of that?
What's the title of that? Loungin'.
Loungin'.
Perfect.
So we have some songs that we were talking about. Like we wrote one instrumental called "Playing Hooky" based on my high school years, and so then we said we'd do one with like about the lounging. We said, well, what could we call it? Lounging, like at the teacher's lounge, you know?
Yeah.
And then we have one.
Very.
Then we have one that's real crazy, kind of wild and really energetic. We called
Phys Ed.
Phys Ed.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
It's so brand new, I don't even remember it. We just did that one last night. But it's
Obviously,
really
I couldn't remember that one, but Phil gives great cues.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Thank you for dealing us a
Yeah.
winning hand.
Yeah.
All right, but before we shuffle for the next episode, hey, we're gonna
He's a card.
let you. Nice.
Sorry.
I want to know. This is the all-in segment. So, if you have one Mobile artist or song that you would put all of your support behind, thinking that they should be a bigger phenomenon than they are, or you believe in them.
You know, this guy named Eric Erdman has a new song that I really like.
Oh, it's
Excluding Present Company.
But I really think that song, the one I'm talking about, the 26-letter thing, that is the best one so far, and it has legs. You've got the machine behind it. I think you could really do something. And, I just think you have the experience. You've been doing it all over, the world and America for sure. So it's not like you don't have the thing. And the other thing is, if we don't go with you, then I've got to go girl power. I'm thinking all girl power. Christy Lee, the Crickets.
There we go.
Christy Lee.
I'm gonna throw another girl in there, Molly Thomas.
Thomas.
Oh.
If Christy Lee can't be a star with that kind of personality, that powerful voice, man, she's got a voice. She should be huge. Now, Molly Thomas has a unique ability to reach across. She has some kind of magic with songwriting and her personality, and the band that she has are just,
absolutely
nailing. So I'd have to say, and the Crickets, I don't really know why the Crickets aren't really a lot bigger than they are, because they should be.
All these people there's still time for them to be. But we were just asking for you to go all in, and you gave us some great ones.
Like yours,
Hey, I want to throw another girl in there, Simone French.
Simone French.
Oh.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, all these people have a lot more than just some musical ability. There's a lot more to them than
and it
that.
Takes that.
It's as though they're all in. Whereas a lot of people you go see, it's like, oh, I get it. You just came in from mowing the lawn, and this is just a thing you do for fun and beer money or whatever. And it's like, no. Simone, Molly, Christy Lee, the Crickets, they're real professional about the way they come across, and whenever they play, it is an event.
I totally agree on all accounts, and I feel like all those people you mentioned, like, not only drew from or gained from being in the Mobile scene, but obviously add to it.
Oh,
and you know what I mean?
And the reach, they got a huge reach outside of this area. But I mean, even like Simone, I remember when she was just cooking pizzas, and we begged her to come up and sing. And she's kind of always said that we were the ones that kind of guided her into playing.
She blames us for that.
She blames us for it.
Thank the two of you, because I love Simone.
Yeah.
But also, thank you for being on Dealing the Mobile's Sound. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks to you for tuning in and listening to Dealing the Mobile Sound. Big props to Callaghan's for giving us the space to do this podcast, as well as the love and support. And a big thank you to Will and the Bushmen for providing the intro and outro music. Make sure you have liked and subscribed to all of the Dealing the Mobile Sound social media. And if you'd like to hear more music by Phil and Foster and all of our guests, be sure to check out mobilebayradio.com. Until next time, I'm Eric Erdman. Thank you for listening.
It's 500 miles. We can't